Hi, I'm Ken, and we're going to be doing some hip releasing using a tennis ball. So this can be very, very tender for you, so kind of adjust. You'll be able to really decide how much weight you want to give into this, but typically the tennis ball has just enough pressure that it'll give before it becomes a really big problem, but it may be a little bit tender, but it's good for you. Builds character. So we're going to be focusing on some very, very intimate places of the body. Specifically, I want you to go ahead and touch yourself. Go ahead. You're looking for your sits bone, your ischium. It's the bottom of the pelvis. It's the bottom of the pelvis where you have your iliac crest, and then those two bones that you sit on, they're actually called your sits bones. Go ahead and find that with your hand, and then go and place the tennis ball right in front of where that bone starts, and just go ahead and sit down on it. And you can choose how much pressure to give to it. I would say be very aware of any leg tension. You don't want to have a tight leg as you do this, because that can add neuromuscular tension, and that's no good. So go ahead and press down. If you're finding that that's not enough and you want to go a little bit farther, you can cross the other leg over and then slowly inch forward. That's going to get a little bit more into the insertion points of the hamstrings. You can get very, very tender. And you can also just kind of wiggle around on top of it, and that's fine too. Then you're going to go and find your greater trochanter. Your greater trochanter is the hip bone right on the side. It's actually the top of your femur. Your femur is your thigh bone, and it goes like this. And this is the outer portion of that hip bone. What we're going to try and do is hit the outside of that towards the back. You're going to get all those rotators that are behind there. Now this one is probably going to be really tender and some very, very localized spots. So I always like to have my hands firmly planted into the ground so that I can control how deep I go. And just very, very gently kind of work around on that. Give pressure to the ball as you feel like you need to. And then from there, you go into a place finding a space in between those 2 points. So we had our greater trochanter here. You had your the sits bone right here, and you're going halfway in between. And that's going to be a much more meaty area, so it may not be as tender. You just kind of roll it out, same thing. You can do little dime-like circles or whatever you'd like. Just trying to keep the foot relaxed. Then to finish it out, I finished off with a couple of easy stretches. One for the rotators, sitting in a diamond shape, and you just kind of roll forward and let the upper body hang forward. If that's too much for you, if you don't have open hips that will open up enough, you can always place your hands behind you and push your belly button forward. That'll give you the same stretch. Another really great one for the rotators is go ahead and go cross-legged, one leg in front of the other, on top of the other. And you can also press the belly button forward or coming up. Obviously switch the legs, do the same thing. And if you're really mobile in the hips, you can probably tolerate going knee to knee. This is a lot more aggressive, but it'll get a really good stretch for those rotators. All right, that's pretty much it. It's definitely going to help relieve a lot of tension in the hips, places that we typically hold a lot of tension. So if you liked what you saw, please comment below or look for us on Balletone.com or Balletone on Facebook and like us. Thanks.